Hello viewers, I'm going to take you on a tour of my entire setup, including my sim rig, my PC and consoles, all of my karting and racing equipment, and everything I basically need to keep this YouTube channel going. I do sim racing, karting and car racing, so as you can probably imagine, quite a lot of equipment to go through. Everything I mentioned in this video will be linked in the description, so that should hopefully make things a lot easier for you. And if you're looking to get into sim racing, now is a really good time to start buying because of all the Black Friday deals, so do have a look in the description for those. So for those wondering, I moved to a new flat about 4 months ago, so my setup is a little bit different compared to the video I released in 2021. With that said, let's get into the setup. I'm going to kick things off by kind of recording myself, as you can see here, and stepping away from the rig. So that is what we're looking at. So that's my sim setup. We have my PC and consoles, the desk over there. Spin around, we have a load of trophies and helmets and stuff, and then an area for a load of random stuff. So I will get to the sim rig in just a moment, but I am going to first cover my Fanatec equipment because this is what I was using for the most part over the last couple of years. Now I do have a Simagic Setup at the moment, but I haven't really used this too much, so we're going to start on what I have been using, and that is all of this. So firstly, let's begin with the wheelbase. This is the Fanatec DD Extreme. This is pretty much the best native wheelbase you can get on PlayStation, I would say. Behind that, we have the Fanatec V3 pedals. Again, amazing pedals, especially on PlayStation. And then we have a bunch of different wheel rims. Let's start with my favourite, the one I use the most. This is the McLaren V2, and it's one that I really like. I've always used this one. It's probably what I use 95% of the time, so definitely recommend this. Next up is the BMW M4 GT3 wheel rim, and you know, this one is special to me because it's the one I use in the race car when I'm racing at the Nürburgring, so I'm very familiar with this. Very weighty feel to it, and yeah, just a really solid wheel. Then we have a couple of F1 rims. So this one was a limited edition one from a couple of years ago. I don't really use it too much, but it does look pretty nice with the gold plating here. This one, very similar. This one is from the Fanatec Podium DD1 wheelbase, which is no longer made, but I used to use it from 2019 to about 2022. But yeah, this one's really nice. Has a couple of different paddles on the back, and a very nice finish, so I do like this one. Then you have the Fanatec WRC circular rim. Haven't used this one too much, but really good for rally and drifting. And then finally we have the DD Extreme wheel. So this one comes with this base. It is basically the official Gran Turismo wheel as of this year. So nice wheel, but it's not my favourite. My favourite, as I say, the McLaren. That's the real GOAT right there. So let's get back to it. This is the sim rig where we do all the business, and let's jump in a bit closer because as you can see, this thing here is a little bit new. This is the Simagic wheelbase with the GT Neo wheel. So something a little bit new, and I will make a full review on this very soon. But basically it's an Alpha U wheelbase, which is the strongest one they do, and that's connected to a GT Neo wheel. And then down here I have an FX Pro and a GTS. And if we jump into the seat, you can see that this is what it looks like. This is a really good wheel. I really like this GT Neo. I'm just going to disconnect it and put on the FX Pro because this thing is absolutely beautiful. I mean, lovely dial, and we can actually take off the plastic. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. But yeah, this is the FX Pro. Really, really good wheel rim, and I'll definitely be making good use of this thing. And as I said, not to leave it out, we have the GTS down there, which I think will be really good for drifting and rally, and maybe I'll give it a good go in Gran Turismo as well. So if you just head down below from the wheel, you can see the pedals. These are the Simagic P2000Rs with the footplate and the heel raising plate here with the foot stop. And then yeah, these pedals, I haven't got full use out of them yet, but again, full video coming very soon, and from what I can tell so far, really, really solid pedals, especially that brake pedal with this big spring here, this hydraulic action. I suppose the only other Simagic item is the emergency stop. So just hit that, it goes red, and the wheel will no longer have any force. Twist it, turn it back on, and then it comes back. So yeah, this is effectively what I see when I'm streaming. So of course, got the wheel, got the pedals down there, and then you've got the main game, which at the moment is Gran Turismo. Got a screen up there, and then this screen which I'm recording right now on the right hand side. Normally I put like YouTube chat on that, or YouTube live, just so I've got information about the live streams. But when I'm playing, I just have OBS where I'm recording, as you can see. So speaking of monitors, the main monitor in the center is a Gigabyte M32 UC. So 32 inches, it's curved, and I think, to be honest, it's big enough. I don't think you necessarily need anything bigger than this, as I think I sit close enough to it that it's decent. I don't have a triple screen setup. Well, I do, kind of, but you know what I mean. The screen above it is a Lenovo L24E-20. It's a nice little secondary monitor for having extra information if I want to watch YouTube or something up there. Then this one is, well, this one's got a really long name. This one is a Samsung LC23JG52QQUXEN. 27 inches. Put it that way around because I think it suits the space, and to be honest, I don't think there's much more space to put it. Landscape, so portrait kind of works really nicely for that monitor over there. It's on a universal stand which I bought from Amazon, so it stands up there quite nicely. Now, a question you're probably all screaming at me right now is, how does the FX Pro or how does the Simagic stuff work on PlayStation? So how does that work on that? That's the big question. Well, it's because of this. This is a Sigma Cortex, and essentially you plug it in to the wheelbase and your PlayStation, and then you can change all the settings through this, as you can see. So as you can see, we just connect, and then we're in. So we just, we can just play, move around. So yeah, that's all you need. Sigma Cortex. That's basically the thing you need if you want to have a Simagic setup on PlayStation. Okay, so that's some of the equipment there, but let's take a look at the main framework. Obviously, really important part of any sim rig. I'm using the SimLab P1. Now, I don't think they sell the P1 anymore. It's more the P1X. But this thing has served me very well for 5 years. Really solid, really adjustable. It's done the job perfectly. I haven't really got any complaints about it at all. So definitely one I'd recommend. And then you can see the silver is a separate part to the sim rig. This is the freestanding monitor mount. I think it's good to have a freestanding one because then you can move the screen exactly where you want in comparison to the wheel. So definitely would recommend that. And then you can see here, this connection piece here, which holds up the other monitor, that is the quad monitor stand. So that's really good to having a main screen and then a screen above, which you can look at for extra information. So that's kind of like the main framework. We have the P1, the monitor mount, and then the quad monitor mount. And then here we have the SimLab keyboard tray holding these two items. And on this side we have the SimLab Sim Shelf, which is kind of a keyboard tray if you like. And then we also have the drinks holder. Crucial piece of equipment right there. And we're still not done. There's still more on this thing. So let's start with this shelf. This is the Go XLR audio mixer. Really good piece of equipment, so I can mix my audio between the PC and the PlayStation, and it all comes through the headphones via this. So you can change the balance between the PC audio, the console, the voice chat, and then my microphone as well. So it's a really good piece of equipment, that. And just next to it we have the Elgato Stream Deck, so you can program buttons to turn off lights and stuff, as you can see. So definitely good for making your work life quicker, and it is good for streaming as well, so definitely would recommend one of them. This side, a Logitech keyboard, don't know which one to be honest, I will find it and link it in the description, and then a SteelSeries 110 mouse PlayStation controller. Here on the left hand side we have the Shure SM7B, quite a common microphone that you'll see in a lot of videos and a lot of podcasts and live streams on the internet. Connected up to the Rode PSA Plus boom arm. So this thing comes in, you know, I can just sit here and it reaches me just about. So that's really good. Just to the left of my wheel, you might have spotted my headphones. These are the HyperX Cloud S, what's the full name? Cloud Alpha S. Up here we have the Elgato key lights, so it's good to have good lighting. And then to the right of the screen, we have quite a crucial piece of equipment. This is the camera which you normally view me from, and this is a Sony Alpha 6400. The lens is a Sony E Sigma 16mm f1.4. And to be honest, I'm really happy with this lens because it has a nice balance. You see the background is blurred. It detects faces as well, so if I turn away, it doesn't focus, but if I turn to the camera, it focuses exactly where I am. So definitely a good lens. I think it brings out nice lighting, so definitely happy with that. And if we just dive in here in this gap, this is a Logitech C920 webcam, which I use to stream or record my feet. Yes, as weird as that sounds, but that's what that is. And it's connected to a bunch of Elgato flex arms. So I want to take you behind the rig. Kind of a weird place to go, but there is a piece of equipment here that you might need to see. This is the cloud lifter, and you use this in conjunction with the Shure SM7B because it's quite a quiet microphone. So as you can see, I separated the sim rig from the wall. It gives me a bit of space to go up and down if I need to adjust the pedals or some of the wires or some of the cables going into the back of the screens. And I do apologise, my cable management is not the best right now. That could be better. And there's one final thing on the sim rig which we need to cover, and that is, quite obviously, the seat. This is a Sparco Rev. It's really comfortable. I've not really had any complaints about it. And yeah, I don't really need to buy another one. It just does the job. Actually, there is one more thing. Down below is a Next Level Racing mat. So going underneath the whole thing, you can see there is a mat from Next Level Racing. So that's pretty cool. So quite a lot of stuff to go through there with the simulator setup. But we're going to move to this. This is the PC and console stand, if you like. Very quickly, we're going to touch upon this. I have a PlayStation Portal. This is quite an interesting piece of equipment. It basically emulates your PlayStations. As you can see, we're on the same screen. So if I click on that race, for example, it goes through on there as well. So I'll make a full video on this. I don't play it too much, but I think it's probably worth a video. Back to this. As for the consoles, PlayStation 5 Pro on the right hand side here. So I got this very recently, like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I think it's a very nice looking thing. I think I quite like this console. Down here, we have a limited edition Xbox Series X, one of 75 in the world, with the Porsche design. So I don't really play too much Xbox these days, but it's really nice to have that. On the left hand side, a controller, SCUF controller. And then I have PSVR 2, which is sat down there, which I play from time to time. And then we have, quite crucially, the PC, obviously a really important and integral part of this whole setup. I'm going to put the stats on the screen so you can see them all and see what's inside here. But yeah, the graphics card is a 4090 and the CPU back there is an i9 14900K from Intel. And the case is a Fractal Torrent, really, really nice case. I do quite like the look of that thing. I mean, it's hefty. It's an absolute unit. So the unit itself at the bottom, so the furniture holding it all together, is the IKEA Besta. Back behind here, do excuse the mess. I'm really sorry for what you're about to see, but I need this ESCU splitter, which has an optical input and basically allows you to stream and play in 4K 120 frames per second whilst also using an optical cable, which the Go XLR needs. So it's kind of complex, but that's what I use. Moving from the PC over to the desk where I work, and this one is actually quite plain. We're going to move out the chair. It's GT Omega chair, which I've had for many years. Actually, I should probably get a new one. So the two monitors that we're using here are the same as that one there. So I'll bring up the weird long name again, the Samsung LXQF5 billion, whatever it is. So two of them, 27-inch, both curved, and it's nice to have two. Good setup, I think. Here we have the Roccat Vulcan keyboard with a SteelSeries mouse. And then the desk itself is a kind of a typical YouTuber setup, I think, with a IKEA Alex drawers, and then the Linmon flat surface at the top, and then the Adil's legs. So a bit of a typical setup there, I think, nothing too crazy. My phone, that is a Samsung S24 Ultra. But let's flip this around to look at this. This is kind of what you see in the background of the live streams. So let's take a quick look. So we've got some of the Fanatec wheels. I've just put them back over there. And yeah, just a bunch of trophies from a lot of the karting and car racing I've done in the last couple of years. And then a bunch of different equipment that I don't have any other place for. One piece of equipment is this. This is a Canon 81 program, which I use for some of my Instagram posts. Kind of a nice retro film camera, really like that. And up here, a couple of trophies. I mean, this one's the Nürburgring 24 this year, so one of the least deserved trophies of all time, this one, given that I got disqualified and then the race got cut short. We have some lights back here, as you can see, providing a nice blue backdrop, but you can change the colours with this thing here. If you really want to blind yourself, and epilepsy warning right here, but you can do this, would not recommend. I'm going to go with a nice blue because it's a nice soft tone and it's enough. So on the wall behind all of this, we have a couple of posters, Porsche GT3 RS, and then the Nürburgring. And then to the left, we have my silver play buttons. The top one is for Team Quadrant. If we get a nice angle on that, there we go. 100,000 subscribers on that channel. Nearly 1 million actually. And also nearly 1 million on my channel. This was my 100k thing here, but get yourself subbed. We're on 952, something like that. So let's go for the 1 million. I suppose while I'm on this part of the setup, I can show you this. This is my 2021 karting helmet. So it's an Arai SK6, designed by Ilustratorres and painted by SFX Designs. And then here we have my new helmet. This is the Arai GP6, painted by Nippy Designs, as you can see there. Designed by Ilustratorres as well. And of course we have the hands posts for car racing, and then the audio equipment for team radio. But yeah, really happy with this one. So on the subject of this helmet, I'm going to go through some of the cameras I use for my racing. And I store that in this drawer here, but they're basically here now. So I have a GoPro Hero 12 Black, which is my most recent GoPro. We have a GoPro Max, so the 360 camera. Next up is a Cambox V4. So this is something you put inside the helmet. I haven't used it too much, but I did use it on my Nico Hulkenberg video at Silverstone. And then here, attached to this mount, we have a GoPro Hero 11. And I've put it on the mount because I wanted to show you, basically, on this sticky pad, basically attach it like that, and you get this kind of POV angle. Only on practice sessions, because during races you're not allowed to have any helmet mounted cameras. And that's the thing that's changed quite a lot on my recent real life racing content, the karting and the car racing. The fact that you can't really mount things to your helmet anymore. They don't really allow it. So a lot of stuff is kind of mounted elsewhere in the car. The tour is not complete. This room is complete. We've pretty much covered everything in here. Let's go beyond the door. You might notice some wires being led out here. Now I like to have my PC and the PlayStation wired. So there's a wire going all around the back, down here. There's a lot of the wire just in that gap. As you can see, it goes along here, up around this door, and around here to this. This is my hyper optic internet, and yeah, I have one gigabyte up and down, so really quick internet basically. But if we go back to the start of the corridor, this is what it looks like. Let's take a look at the bedroom quickly. This just to the left. I have lined up a couple of my kart suits. Ignore the random mattress and stuff over there. But yeah, these are a couple of my race suits. This is my P1 Bilstein race suit that I've been using this year at the Nürburgring. And then this is a Sparco quadrant suit, which I really like, but I haven't had much chance to use it. But yeah, not too much to see in here. Bedroom, little corner around there. with a wardrobe, and then a bathroom. Hello viewers, Super GT in the bathroom here. So if we go out, so that's the sim room over there. We go this way. We bring you to, this is my Dell XPS 15 laptop, which I use on some shoots. Just go through footage. I do have a Charizard, look at that. I mean, that is the best thing in this entire setup. Completely irrelevant, but it is very worthwhile. And then we have my living room. Let's get that light on. So a fairly sizable space here, as you can probably tell. Quite a big kitchen. You know, I'm not going to go into this detail too much, but yeah, toaster with 4 slots. I mean, that is a revelation. Being able to do 2 separate toasts or 4 separate toasts on 2 different sliders, incredible, life-changing. And there's a banana. And it looks like I need to do the washing up. I'll get to some of my other equipment over there, my racing equipment. This is my cactus called Kratos. He's grown quite a lot. He used to be up to about here. Now he's grown. But yeah, some of my other racing gear. So I raced this morning at Buckmore Park. It was wet, so this suit is just drying out. It's another one of my Bilstein suits. But in terms of the gloves I use, these are Sparco Arrow gloves. Now, they're normally white. You can see they're quite dirty right now. But yeah, Sparco Arrow, which I use in the car. And then here I have Sparco Arrow K, which are gloves that I'm really happy with. They're quite thin, but I've been using these gloves for years, so I really do rate them. And then down here, we have my Sabelt racing boots. Really lightweight. Again, should be white, but a little bit dirty from today. But yeah, not too much to see in here, to be honest. It's just like normal living space, nothing too crazy. So let's head back into the sim room, where I can show you the software that I use to create videos and to edit them. So back in the sim rig, I'll show you the software I use in just a moment. But before that, this camera, this is what I've been using to film this vlog. And I think you'll agree perhaps that the quality is really good on this thing. It's a Sony FX3 base. Then the lens is a FE 16-35mm f2.8 GM. So a bit of a handful, but it's a really solid camera, well worth the investment in my opinion. But let's take a look at the software I use to edit thumbnails and to make videos. So for thumbnails and images, I use Adobe Photoshop 2024. As you can see here, this is my thumbnail from a video a week or so ago, as you can see. To record videos and to live stream, I use OBS. So I'm going to drag that in. So as you can see, we're going to have an infinite loop. But yeah, this is effectively what I'm using. And then for video editing, this software, as you can see here, this is Sony Vegas Pro 20.0. So this is an editing suite that I use. And, you know, there's probably better ones out there, but this one is the one I'm used to. So I can't be bothered to change. So that's my entire 2024 setup. It's a setup that's built up over many, many years to get to this point. And of course, this is my job, so it's worth investing into it. If you have any questions about it, please do ask in the comments below. And don't forget, of course, that everything I've mentioned is linked down below. So that should make everything quite easy. But thank you for watching through to the end. If you're not subscribed already, get yourself subbed so that we can get a bit closer to 1 million. But yeah, have a nice day. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.